everybody and welcome to my channel. For those of my new subscribers, my name is Shinigami X and what I'm here today is to give you another Bleach chapter review. Okay, but before we get into this week's Bleach chapter, obviously we're going to run a clip of the day. Alright, now that that's done, I hope you guys have enjoyed the clip today. Now, before we get into the chapter, I have one more thing I need to address to you. Basically, some news regarding what's going to be happening with the Bleach anime over the next coming weeks. Basically, in a nutshell, the Bleach anime is going to be, the Bleach manga, sorry, is going to be going on a hiatus. Because Kubo says he just needs some time out to recharge his battery so he can basically finish off this final arc. Yes, so you can all hear it, this final arc is coming to an end. So okay, now into the chapter. This week's Bleach chapter is titled 546, titled 9 days. Alright, now I thought this is a very interesting chapter of Bleach for very few reasons, because this chapter kicks off where the last chapter went off, where we're with Kyoraku and Ichigo's friends are talking to him and whatnot, and I thought that this bit of the chapter was more or less irrelevant. Like, oh yeah, he's saying that Ichigo might not come back to the Soul Society, might come back to the world of living, but we kind of guessed that already, because you know how Ichigo's been in his relationship with the Soul Society and his interaction with the human world was unlikely after this 1,000-year blood war arc that he'd be coming back to the world of living. Anyways, Kyoraku then begins to explain why, saying that Ichigo, it's likely that he will come back there. It's like, I believe it's like a 1 in 10,000 chance that he'll stay in the Soul Society. So yeah, I thought that point of the chapter was pretty much like pretty irrelevant, and he gives them some tickets saying that yeah, they can come and visit him. So I thought, whatever, moving on. Now, what I thought was the most interesting part of the chapter was quite bluntly the end of the chapter, where we see Juha, Uryu, and Hashwell standing together, and then there's this dome over the Soul Society. And at first I didn't think of this dome as anything, because the dome reminded me of when Ichigo and friends tried to invade the Soul Society for the first time, and Kukaku shot the cannon to make them invade the Serite. So, it didn't surprise me. So I didn't think that anything of it as thought, yeah. Okay, but then what we see is that the Soul Society is actually changing to very much how like the the headquarters of Sternrid is like the ice castle, and changing to all be like all dark and dismal and whatnot. So it's actually changing to be like that. Juha Bark then states to Uryu, have you heard of basically the story of the Quincy King? And he says yes, within 900 days he will regain his heart. In 900 years he will regain his heart. In 90 years he will regain his intellect, and in 9 years he will regain his powers. Juha Bark then corrects him and says that yeah, there's another bit to that. He says within 9 years he will regain the world. So basically saying that he plans to conquer the Soul Society within 9 days. Okay. And that was basically that. So I think like this week's chapter was okay. It wasn't really an amazing chapter, because a lot of people are saying like yeah, this week's chapter was amazing just because Juha Bark is now getting ready to invade the Soul Society, but we knew that he was going to invade the Soul Society again at some period in time anyway. So this is no big surprise. So to me, this doesn't make this chapter amazing. It's just something that was expected to happen. It just came a little bit sooner. But what I do think is that this was a good chapter for the way Kubo done it. I think it was a good chapter that Kubo ended it on, for him to take his long hiatus, for him to come back and then wrap up the chapter. But to me, it seems quite strange how this is supposed to be like the final arc of Bleach. All the questions are meant to be answered and whatnot, and it says that it's coming to a close. Okay, we don't know when the Bleach manga is going to end, but when Kubo says that yeah, he's taking a hiatus so that he can plan out how he's going to finish it, that means somewhere along the line means he's coming towards the end of this arc. So I'm kind of hoping that within this arc we're going to get another arc, and I believe on the message it said that prepare yourselves for the 1,000-year blood war, the separation or something like that. So it's like another segment within this arc, because like how we had the whole Aranka arc, then we had the Hueco arc, then we had the Karakura Town fight. So it's like another segment within that arc. I'm kind of hoping it's that rather than coming towards a close. So yeah, that's my thoughts about that. Overall, I do think this week was a good chapter. I don't think it was anything particularly amazing, because at the end of it, because quite bluntly, it was expected for me. So yeah, so what I think now is gonna go. As far as Ichigo staying inside the Soul Society, was a bit lost by that. You know, Kyoraku saying that, oh yeah, it's probably a 1 in 10,000 chance. I think personally that the chances of him, you know, developing powers that he can't go back to the world of living unless he causes some kind of detrimental effect to the world of living is actually a lot higher than 1 in 10,000. He's only stating that to his friends, so that, you know, they don't worry or they don't get too upset. And then otherwise, if the chances were that slim, do you guys honestly think that Kyoraku would have given them the tickets? It just wouldn't make sense, because the chances are that small. Then it's almost likely, the probability of it happening is almost 0. So then therefore, why would you take that precautionary measure? It's unlikely. So that's why I think that Kyoraku done that just to, you know, like ease the pain. But saying they can come and visit him, that's like, yeah, whatever, that's cool. Now as far as Ichigo, here's how I'm beginning to understand how powerful Ichigo is actually going to become. The head captain of the Gote 13, Kyoraku, is in the world of the living. We know he doesn't have it, we don't see him have his Zanpakuto with him or anything like that. We yet to know his Bankai, but we know that Shunsui is one of the strongest captains of the Gote 13, yet he is in the world of the living. So if you're saying that Ichigo might become so strong that you know, he won't be able to come to the world of living without damaging it in some sort of way, that just goes to show how powerful Ichigo will become. And also, we also remember the final Getsu potential. So we can now, it's now evident to see that that was nowhere near his full power. Okay, yes, we knew that he was never at full power because you know, he only just recently learned about his powers, and you know, Juha Getsu finally stepped aside and stopped restricting his powers. But there was a time when I thought that final Getsu potential was the ultimate form of Ichigo. One, because when he struck, he lost all his powers, so it's like releasing it all at once. Two, is that when he was doing the training to learn final Getsu potential inside the Dangai Precipice world, remember that the Hollow Ichigo and Juha Getsu, let's call them, fused together into one being, or Juha Tensazan Getsu, fused together to create one being that was basically the entire manifestation of Ichigo's powers. So I didn't think at that period in time that, you know, anything was being held back, which is why there was such a big power difference from, you know, being inferior to Aizen to the point where even using his ultimate attack in his Bankai couldn't defeat Aizen without even using his Zanpakuto ability in Shikai. Then to be able to overwhelm Aizen now that he's ascended 2 levels above the other captains of the Gote 13. So it just goes to show that the big power scale that Ichigo's gone is like he's been on the same level as the captains, to just above the captains, to post Dangai to be 2 levels above the captains and even Aizen, and now we're saying that he's going to become even stronger than that. So we can see that Ichigo Kurosaki is quite evidently becoming a beast. So yeah, and what I do want to see is I want to see more training with Ichigo, because there's a lot of things that have been unanswered in Bleach so far. For Kubo to say that, yeah, it's coming towards the end of the arc. So knowing that this is the final arc in Bleach, a lot of things have been unanswered. So like, for example, will Ichigo learn new moves now that he has 2 swords? One, you know, what's Kyoraku's Bankai? What's Urahara's Bankai? There's loads of Bankais that we haven't seen. There's loads of questions we haven't been answered. Like, for example, what is so significant about Komamura's past? What's going to happen with Byakuya? What's going to happen with Toshiro? Is his Bankai lost forever? Is that just it? What's happening with Soifun? How's her training developing? What's Yoruichi doing? Do you understand what I'm saying? There's loads of questions that just haven't been answered yet. So it would kind of tick me off if these questions do not get answered, because I don't want Kubo to now get lazy and rush things, because he's done so well in this arc. Like, the pacing has been brilliant. You know, week in, week out, yes, there's been some slow down chapters, but it's been a good oxymoron compared to the chapters that have been all hyped up. So those are my overall thoughts about this week's chapter. This week's chapter has been like a very good chapter of Bleach, a very good way to end it before he's giving us his messages going on a long hiatus. So, you know what, I wish all the best of luck to Kubo. Like, you know, thanks for delivering this chapter. This is a very good chapter this week. That's my thoughts about it, guys. Hit me up in the comment section below and let me know what you think. Comment, rate, subscribe as always. It's your boy Shinigami X, aka your Captain X, as you can tell by the Hyori. Yeah, I'm signing out, and as always, my people, take care, peace, have an awesome day. You're dismissed.